Is Iflowboy, and wherever you are, I hope you're having a good day. It's Saturday morning here in Brisbane, Queensland, Australia, nearly about 8 o'clock in the morning, so it's nice and early. A couple of things happening today, so I'm doing an early broadcast. We have a Queensland state election, so I have to go and vote, but I'm also planning on heading up the coast to visit my parents who are up on a little bit of a caravan holiday, or motor van holiday for those of you who don't know what a caravan is. I hit a milestone during the week, and that was that I'd hit 400 followers, which I guess, considering the current scenario with PS4 winding down and PS5 about to become available, is perhaps not as significant. But I guess for me, I didn't start doing the livery thing until about June, July last year, even though I'd had my PlayStation for a fair amount of time before that. And so I hadn't really understood the whole thing about liveries and publishing them or sharing them, and also about people following you once you published liveries and they started looking at what you were doing. So I'd like to think that I've had a fairly decent increase in followers since I started. Certainly the last 100 followers, which has really happened in the last 3 months. So if I think about, actually less than that, 2 months, and if I think about the fact that when I started doing liveries in June, July last year, I didn't really start sharing them until about November last year. So in that context, it's been really great that I've been able to get as many people who like and I guess appreciate what I am doing, as far as both creating liveries, sharing liveries, and also doing the YouTube broadcasts that I do. I know I don't do them very regularly. I guess that's because when I get into the game, which I do generally every day, I guess I'm just focused on either creating liveries, attending car shows, or racing, and I'm not thinking about doing the broadcasts, or that followers may be looking for broadcasts each day. I'm going to try and get better at that. I'm going to try and do more and do them more frequently. I've been thinking about, schedules and projects and things like that, so that I can actually commit to doing the regular broadcasts. Anyway, I wanted to do this broadcast because I wanted to show the completion of me doing the 400 followers livery, and I chose this car, I guess because for me it's perhaps the most iconic 911, being the 85 930, and there's a few reasons for that, one of which is I believe it was the last air-cooled 911 turbo, and I think from that perspective, obviously the characteristic of the car and the engine changed after this version came out, or model came out. So that's what I wanted to do. So you can see that from all appearances it appears to be done, but it's not. What I will do is I'll actually jump out of this, because I do have a earlier saved version. I might need to change into it first, I suspect. I don't know whether it will let me select multiples to show you an earlier version of the creation of it, because obviously it's a phased process. Sometimes you don't get to you don't get to complete it all in one go. So what we'll do is we'll jump out to the library, and then I can go into my garage, I should say, and then I can select it. It just means I have to change the livery over. Select the car first. That's always a smart thing to do. There it is. I'm often perplexed by why, when you do these different memory entries, if you like, that the brands are positioned in different spots each time. I don't know if anybody else has noticed it. I don't know if anybody understands why that is, but if you do know, I'd be curious for a comment to tell me. So we're going to see the earlier versions here. So that's obviously the raw car. For those of you that aren't familiar with this part of the menu, just a quick explanation. If you do happen to have multiple of the same car, and or you create multiple liveries for the same model of car, in here is where you'll see all the versions you have. So that's a car on its own, that's a car on its own. By the way, that's an unfinished livery, and so is that one, but they're cars on their own. So I actually have 4 models of this 930 Turbo: the black one, the red one, the green one, and the, I guess you'd call it an aqua green, I don't know. Anyway, they're the 4 that I have. So that's the raw car without any livery applied. This I'm going to change into it so you can see it, and then I'll come back and change back to that. But it's just to show you, I guess, the phases of the design. And what I'll do is I'll just jump into it like a preview mode in here. It'll be quicker. I think I can do that in here, or can I not? I can view the car here, that's right. I can't. And what view the car is it's actually showing you it in motion or driving, which is a great feature, because when you're doing livery design, you know, you get to see whether it looks right or not. Only challenge with me doing it this way is that because it's going to be moving, you may not get to study it. So I might actually go out and go back into livery editor. Sorry, I thought that would be a great way to show you, but this is going to be interesting. What's it going to bring up? Is it going to bring up that version, or is it going to bring up the completed version? Okay, I tried and I failed, so let's forget it and just continue on with. So this is pretty much completed on the side. I'm not really thinking of adding anything more. I do still have to do the rear end, and I'm maybe not finished the front, but the car hasn't been lowered yet either, so I'm expecting that the arches will look better once the car is lowered a bit. In fact, I could have done that while I was in the garage. I could have played with the settings. Anyway, so what I've tried to do is I've tried to go with a road theme for my 400 followers. I don't know if you can figure that out. You've got the double yellow lines in the middle, and then you've got the lanes either side of the 2-lane road, and then obviously the road edge. That's the look I've tried to create. Tried to make it very much like a car or a road theme, and then obviously I've done the bonnet in a similar fashion, and that leads straight up onto the roof as well, so it's a continuous road, I guess. And obviously saying thank you to the people that have chosen to follow me, even if you've only followed me very, very briefly or looked at one livery or whatever. That's okay. Thank you very much for I guess showing appreciation and showing interest. So I've got to finish it obviously, and as I did in the previous episode when I was completing another more modern Porsche 993, I think it was, at this point much of what I'm going to be doing is duplicating. I'm pretty sure I don't need to do anything at the front anymore. I think I'm done, but I do need to finish the back. I need to obviously apply the same number plate as I've done at the front, which is Boost 400. I thought it made perfect sense, being the 930 being a turbo car and being my 400 follower, I guess, acknowledgement livery. I thought it made sense to use that as my number plate. So So I've got to finish the rear end. You'll see that I've continued those road edge lines into the rear of the car, but that I haven't continued the roof. Quick answer for that is that there would be a crossover of the lines, and I also just felt that it looked better bringing the line. Now, the two separate line decals there, they're not one line decal, just for those of you who are wondering, hence that's why it looks like that there. But I'll duplicate those two lines and then they'll match up. So I'm just going to do the duplication, and then I'll probably do a bit of work around the rear end. I'll those rubber bumper sections in there, I'll probably do the same color coding style that I've done at the front with the yellow and then the black spaces. But otherwise, and I've got to do the wing mirrors, as those of you who have ever watched my video will know, I always do a wing mirror decal wherever I can, rather than leaving them plain. I just like that it finishes the car off. Okay, so let me get into it. Get out of preview mode, go into decal mode. For those of you who are totally unfamiliar with the livery design, my technique is that I tend to create on one side first. That allows me to understand whether the livery is coming together in the way that I want, if it's actually creating the vision, if you like, that I want to see, whether it's aesthetically nice, whether the colours match, whether it's in proportion, all those things. And then once I'm happy with it, then I just start the process of duplication. But I generally will do the side, then I'll do the bonnet, then I'll do the roof, and then I'll start to duplicate the sides, and then I'll do the rear. That's typically my process, and it can vary, but not very often does it vary. So I've already done some duplication. For those of you again not familiar with livery editor, the little cross or crosshair, as you might be aware of it if you play any of the first person fighting games or action games like Call of Duty as an example. The crosshair will move to where the particular decal is as I move up and down the decal list or layers on the right. So we call them, they're referred to, I shouldn't say we call them, they're referred to as layers. So you can see I've duplicated the long yellow line, which is actually two lines as well. The first part of the front is a second piece joined. I'll explain why when I get to that in a second. And so I've done those two, so that's those two done. You can see the crosshairs, and I've done those two, which I think you noticed anyway. So I'm up to this one, and as I said, that's the nose section. Now, the reason why I did a separate line here is that often with these shapes, as they go and change their contour, you can see there as it changes, that can often warp one continuous line. So you're usually better off, I'm going to make an adjustment to that white line too in a minute. You're usually better off not trying to continue the line on for that section. You're better off stopping it, doing a separate line, and then joining it. Yeah, hey Rookie. Rookie is a mate. Raced with him, racing leagues. We were going to be teammates for one series, but didn't work out for Rookie with his other commitments. So, but we will be one day. Anyway, so now I've just got to start duplicating that line on the other side. But yeah, again, it's just a case of making sure that you get as perfect a livery design as you can. And as I said, if I were to continue that main line around to the back on its own and to the front, it's likely that the line would start to go out of proportion or out of alignment, so you're better off not doing it. Okay, so I'm going to duplicate, and it's a pretty simple process. Now I'm just pretty much just going up the layers and following. I'll slow down so you can see. So I select the decal. As you can see, the crosshair is pointing at something that doesn't exist, but once I click, it will automatically jump the car around to the other side. Here we go, bang. And then if you go in close, you'll see that decal will be flashing. I'm trying to work out which one it is, because I can't see it flashing at the moment. It's the yellow at the bottom, is it? Okay. And then all I need to do, now that I've got it, yeah, it is the yellow one at the bottom. Don't know why it's, oh there it is, you can see it flashing now, it just wouldn't do it a minute ago for some odd reason. Right down the bottom there you'll see it flash. And then all I do is hit this layer control, and then obviously I've got options here, but I want to duplicate it in the exact position. So I click on that and that will automatically place it there. So it's a very simple process. The one thing that I do always say is try not to do it too fast, because it is very easy for you to accidentally not have your left hand and your right hand working in perfect synchronization, and all of a sudden you select the wrong option, and that has the potential to mess up your livery. So you know, the pace that I'm doing it at is certainly okay, because I can take a little bit of care, but again, I'm used to doing this. I don't know what livery number this is. It's near 600 I think now, so I have had a bit of experience doing it, so that's why I'm probably doing it a bit faster than most might, but I'm certainly not trying to do it too fast. I'm still it's like for any of you who've watched any of my Minecraft broadcasts, where I talk about the speed with which I can build stuff and use the blocks, etc., that are in the game. That's after thousands of hours of experience doing it. So I guess my muscle memory works at a fairly high level. And I did this. I can't remember who it was. It was oh, I know, it was my former partner's son's friend came over and we were talking about, and he loved Minecraft, and I had the game open, and I was showing him some of the things I built, and he was amazed, and he was like, oh gee, that must take so long. And I said, well, yes and no. I said, I can do things pretty quickly. And he's like, oh, what do you mean? So I said, alright, I'll give you an example. And I actually created a small section of a building, and I said, alright, here's what I want you to do. I want you to fill in the floor on this building, and then when you will time you, and then I will do the exact same thing, and we'll compare the difference. Now I think from memory it took him nearly 4 minutes, and I did it in 1:15 or something like that. So that kind of gives you an idea of what happens when you spend thousands of hours of doing something. And for some of you, okay, now I've reached the point where I'm going to be copying the numbers and alpha characters on the side here. So if I were to do flip horizontal and duplicate, it would actually sit there in actual reverse. So instead I use duplicate on reverse. Now it will not place them in the same spot in the same way, and that's because obviously we're now always reading left to right. So but when it duplicates in the exact same spot on the opposite side. So you can see it's just before the front seam there of the door, as it is on this side. So what that means is that I will manually have to move those decals, but that's okay. You know, there's certain things that you can do to make sure you get that right, and I'll talk about that once we get to that point. But yeah, so you know, it's probably the only tricky bit to doing your livery is when you have characters that are not one single decal, and you need to put them on both sides of the car. You know, if I ran or if I used the computer graphics programs that a lot of people do, thank you Ethan, then I could just go in and make these things as one decal, upload them into the game, and then just stick them or place them on the car, and I could create a left-hand version and a right-hand version. And I can, if you have a look at my Momo car that I did recently, you'll see that the Momo decal on the side of the car, there's two different cars, but the decals on both cars came with a left version and a right version. Otherwise I wouldn't have been able to position them the way that I did. So now I've moved all the alphanumeric characters. So what I'll need to do when I'm finished duplicating the rest, and I may actually be finished, is replace them in the correct readable or legible order. But I'm pretty sure that I probably am onto the bonnet and the roof now. So I'll just check. Yeah, okay, so that's done. So now really all I need to do is correct those characters. Now I'm guessing everybody has a different way of dealing with this. I approach it from this perspective. The first thing that I try to do is I try to get all the characters back in an order, and the easiest way to do that is just simply grab them all and move them, and you've got to watch the crosshairs so you make sure you grab the right ones, and then you just click your triangle button when you get to the right layer, select the move layer, follow the yellow horizontal line till you get up to where your previous one was, which was the 4, and plonk it in there, and just continue that exercise until you have moved them all in an order so that you can quickly identify that one set of characters is on one side of the car and another set of characters are on the other side. Now, it isn't that hard to do, because what you'll see is that there's the F on the other side, and the opposite character tends to be immediately above it. So basically that's all you need to do. So just move the layer, and then I'm just continuing this process until I have 2 distinct sets of each, if you like, set on each side of the car. Now I got a bit lazy earlier because you can see I doubled up without necessarily moving them, and as a result it's a bit there you can use to do alignment. Sometimes when you do duplicate, it'll sort of turn the character a little bit, so you might have to rotate it just a fraction to get it straight. Now I'm going to place it there. That may not be exactly where it needs to be because it's a different shape, and logic would say that I should be positioning it about there, so I will do that. I'll leave it there and just see where we end up. I'm just mindful that it may not be that in fact, but let's just see. Yeah, see, that's what I thought. The 400 is right there, and so if I were to plonk them there, I'm just not sure the followers will fit. Anyway, let's try it. Only one way to know, isn't there? Give it a go, as they say. And now I'm just going to pull the... now, the tip is to work backwards, sorry, when it comes to the word. So, the reason for that is because the last letter will be the first letter that I position over there. And so that then also starts to become your reference point. Oh, sorry, my bad. I don't want to move the layer. I just want to select it. Funny me. Yeah, and again, this is just a process that you have to go through. It's, you know, it's not a designer's curse, or it's not a tedious thing. It's about producing a good quality livery. And you know, for me, I always want to try and build something that it's not just about that other people will like. It's about creating a livery that I like and that I'm proud of, and that I guess reflects the effort that I've put into it. You know, I know that there are people out there that do, you know, 90% of their liveries, they go into the library, they find what we call a wrap pattern decal, and they grab that and they stick that all over the car, and then stick, you know, one or two decals of a brand, and you know, turn around and think, look at this, look, I've created this great livery. I look at those liveries and I kind of look at it and go, well, you're very lazy, because, you know, it takes you, what, 10 minutes to do something like that, and I can demonstrate it if anybody wants to see. It's a very easy thing to do, to just go and create a pattern wrap. I've got some patterns, but I'll never drag them over a whole car. Whoops, sorry, my bad. Because to me that's just lazy design, and it's not even creating your own design in my mind, because you've not concentrating here. You've grabbed somebody else's decal and effectively covered your whole car in it. And you know, to me that's not much difference to going into, not much different I should say, to going into the livery editor and just selecting a paint color and leaving the car at that. I don't regard that as a livery either. You know, I'm not saying that cars can't look nice when you just do a plain paint, and that's how we see most cars on the road. But for me, as I've said before, the whole idea of livery design is enhancing the car's normal visual appearance. And if you're just doing a paint job, you know, that may enhance it from the perspective of that paint job looks better than a different color paint, but you haven't really enhanced the car, you've just changed the appearance of the car. The other thing too that I always say about it is that, to me, whatever somebody does when it comes to just doing a painted car, particularly if they bring that car into a show, the reality is that any of us could go and do the same thing in about a minute. And so for me, that's not really a livery design if what you've done can be quickly emulated by anybody else in a very quick time frame. I just realised my 4 is a bit out of alignment with the rest of them, so I'm just going to move it up. I realised I've used the door lid line. Oh, but actually no, I'm going to leave that there. Sorry folks. I'm going to move the zeros down so that they align with the word. My bad. Paying attention. Yeah, so that's my take on those kind of designs. And so yeah, so if you're going to do this, my advice is do it at your pace, but do it from the perspective that you want to create a quality livery. And from that perspective, you will find, I don't need those, what's below it? No, not good. So now I'm just doing the nose, duplicating what I need to duplicate. You can see I don't need to duplicate these at the front, nor that one, but I will have to duplicate these at the side, just to complete that front spoiler. Again, with some of the shapes that you encounter, and I will actually spin it. I can't go back. Just before I do this pace, so you can see there that we've got a bit of a tricky section because I don't want to complete or colour that black rubber with the slats. So sometimes you have to pick a different shape to fill the purpose. I've used half circles for this because it allowed me, and the great thing is that this section is another section, so it doesn't go above this piece, so that gives you a bit more freedom when it comes to plonking in the shape that you need to fill the gap, if I can call it that. So we've got to fill that gap, and I use this half circles to do it because they're generally the easier ones to play with in terms of the dimensions and the shapes and the real estate you can cover. But when you do that, it just fits nicely, so you can see got a nice clean edge there. Okay, so I'm pretty much done. I talked about the lines lining up at the back here. You can see now that they do line up. Obviously you spend a bit of time getting them to line up initially, but the point is that once you do it, then they look correct when you're doing the duplication and they all match. Now, I did say I was going to play around with that white decal, didn't I? It just looks like it's a bit low to me. Again, this is just really about me making sure that the livery is as aesthetically accurate and symmetrical as it can be. So I'll go back to body and I'll just have a look at it. Now you got two options when it comes to this. The one option is you can manually move both of them, and yeah, I think it is a bit low, and I think the angle is not quite right. Maybe that's the issue because of the guard flaring it. It's changing the trajectory. I think I can probably get away with just doing that. Yeah, okay. So the option is I can finish that, save that, go to the other side and adjust it. The other option I've got, which I would probably recommend, is delete the other one. Hit your triangle key, hit delete, and then just reduplicate that particular one again, and that way it'll be perfectly placed. Yeah, that looks better. Yeah, okay, good. Alright, so now what I've got to do is the rear. Obviously I've got to do the number plate. I don't know, what can I say about number plates? I find them fun because it's an opportunity for you to make a bit of a statement. A lot of people don't bother, but I do like to do that. Again, it's all about, to me, it's all about customizing your car so that it's not the same as everybody else's. You know, this is a game where in a day you can effectively, depending on how long you're logged in for, you can be in car rooms and effectively meet and see thousands of other cars. So from that perspective, do you want to see the exact same car as yours driving around, or 5 of them, or 10 of them? I don't. I want to know that my car is unique. So for me, one of those things that you can do to make it unique is to give it a unique plate. A lot of the role play rooms will actually stipulate that for you to bring a car out into that roleplay room, you must have a number plate. And they do that for two reasons. One, because they need to identify the car in case there aren't two cars that are the same. And secondly, it's a good way of limiting the types of cars that can come out, because not every car in the game actually has a number plate. Now, that doesn't mean you can't create one. I've created them on cars that don't have them. You just make a square section like I'm doing now, even though this one has a number plate, but you can do a similar thing without it. And bang, all of a sudden it's got a number plate. And most of the decent roleplay rooms, if you do that, will let you in. They probably won't if you do it on a Tomahawk or a Chaparral future, what they call vision car. But for, you know, I guess more normal racing cars like GR3, GR4s, if you put a number plate on them, then they will let you do it. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to, getting back to this, I'm just going to create the same effect that I've done at the front, which is the yellow border, then with the white insert, which allows me, I think that's correct, to use the same color scheme. So just duplicate it, grab your right joystick, just drag it, you know, very quickly, just go bang bang, two little flicks, and that will just shrink that duplicated shape. Then go to your color palette and select your color, and then readjust your shape so that it's in proportion. So now I've got it the depth enough. I need to now make the width enough so that it's nice and even. That looks pretty good. And then I can just start adding the letters, which again, for those of you that didn't notice, is boost 400 to signify the followers, and boost because it's a turbo car. Excuse me. The lettering that I'm using, I believe, is yellow, so I better get that right. And then all I've got to do is drag it down and adjust it. As I've said in previous broadcasts, my advice to anybody doing this part is when you're choosing a particular color, if you've got a white background, the default color that any character will appear when you select it is white. So change the color immediately, and that way it's a lot easier for you to then identify it, find it wherever it is, because sometimes it's like, where's it gone? I can't find it, I can't see it, particularly if you reduce the character before you bring it down to the, I guess, contrasting background. You know, if I'd left that white and dragged it down to this size right now, and I'd be wondering where is it, I can't see it because it'll be white on white, obviously. So give that a bit more space, I think. Always remember to duplicate common letters that you're going to have in a livery. It'll save you time. And, you know, time, you know, it might sound flippant when I say it'll save you time, but you know, liveries do take time, especially if you've got to do tricky bits, especially if you want to be perfect in your design, placement, edges, etc. They are going to take time. I don't know, this livery's been reasonably quick. I think in total, by the time I'm finished, I don't have much more to do. By the time I'm finished, it should be great. You can see I'm just doing a visual lineup and that the letters are pretty accurate. If you're not this confident in doing it, the tip is to do this. Grab a horizontal line, change it to another contrasting color like a red. Bring it down into the area, shrink it down so it's a really thin border line, if you like, or a guideline like so. That's all you need. It's almost like a crosshair line. Put it at the top, duplicate it and drag it down to the bottom of your first character, would be my tip, and then you can visually ensure that your characters fit in. So as I said, I'm pretty good at the eye alignment technique because I've done this a lot of times, but I'm pretty sure when I started I was nowhere near as good as I am now at getting the alignments right. So, and even now on some things I will still use, I've used the guides. I use the guides to do the thank you, and I'll just show you on the roof again. I did this exact technique today, this morning, before I started this broadcast. A little bit high. Sometimes it slows me down if I use this because I get more pedantic about it. So I use the guides to do the thank you, and I use them to do the bonnet. The reason that I use them is because both of these have a contour. They're not flat surfaces. This surface is flat, so I'm more confident that I'm going to get the alignment right. And as I look at that T, you see I've made it a bit too small. Let me just fix that up. Yep, good. Yeah, so that's the tip. And then when you finish doing the characters, just go ahead and delete the guide, and then you'll get perfectly straight characters, perfectly aligned characters, I should say, as well. Now from memory this was a black and I haven't changed it, so I will. How am I doing so far, Ethan? Have you picked up any tips for your own livery design? Anything that's different to what you would do from a technique perspective? Saving space on a number plate's important, so that's why I position the dash, the little black dash there where I have, because that gives me more space to fit the remaining characters, being a 4 and 2 zeros. And these will be in black as per the front. I'll show you that in a second, but trust me, they're black. And again, that's about a bit of coordination. That should give me enough room for 2 zeros, I believe. I hope. It's always a bit of fun, it's always a bit of hit and miss. Patience is certainly a virtue when it comes to doing livery design. The more tricky things or challenges you set yourself in what you want to do on a livery, the more your patience is likely to be tested. But equally, the amount of gratification or satisfaction, that you'll get when you've done it and you can look at it, and spin around it in preview mode, and feel very proud of the effort and the patience that you showed to complete it. Alright, so I'm nearly done. The last thing I need to do is put my state acronym on it, which is QLD for Queensland. Queensland, for those of you not from Australia or from the region that aren't familiar with it, is the second largest state in Australia in land mass, third most populous in terms of population, and it probably has the best climate of all the states, because it doesn't go as far south as Western Australia, and it actually goes further north than Western Australia, which is the biggest state in land mass. We have some pretty popular tourist destinations. Probably the most popular or most well known is the Great Barrier Reef. That is solely in the jurisdiction off the coast of Queensland, and it runs for some 3,000 kilometres, I believe, so it covers most of our coastline but not all of it. Queensland's a pretty big state. I think the total east coast is about 3,900, or maybe even 4,000 something. I can't remember the exact stat, I apologise. We also have the Gold Coast, and we also have the Sunshine Coast, so there again two popular locations. We have the Whitsundays, which is, I think, a very well known global destination, in particular for one beach named Whitehaven Beach, which has I think if it's not the most pure white sand, it's very close to being the most pure white sand in the world. But I've been there and I can absolutely tell you it's beautiful. It really is idyllic. So yeah, that's Queensland. So hence our number plates have QLD, which is the official acronym for Queensland. So I might have made that Q a bit big, I think. I'll just see. I haven't bolded it yet. Usually I shouldn't say bold. I usually fill it out like this to make it a bit more prominent. But I don't know if I'll have to do that at this size. I'm just mindful of the D fitting. Yeah, we'll see. So there are a few more things I want to do with this livery when I'm finished doing the plate at the back here. For a start, I want to put my channel name on it. I just did that, didn't I? Silly me. But I want to try and do it on the underside of the whale, what they call the whale tail. Did I flip it, did I? Must have. Don't remember doing it, but I must have done it. No, sorry, I've shrunk it too much. Okay, another tip, if you shrink something too much, it goes into reverse. As you just saw, now I've just fixed that by shrinking it back to the right reference, if you like. And then I'll do this. I'm going to drop that down a bit because that's okay. Yeah, that's looking alright. Okay, so now I can remove the guidelines, because I don't need them to be there anymore. And there's your number plate. Ta-da, as they say. Okay, so now I want to do the rear wing. Now I want to do something on the underside of it, so rather than the top of it. And my channel involves characters, so it's going to take a little bit of time. So Ethan's left, see you buddy. Rear wing, so to do the underside, select that button, select the line with camera, then you get your crosshairs again. So I'm going to line it up as straight as I can. I'm going to go underneath, go up here, and I'm going to select a character now by hitting select decal, and because I'm doing my iFlow channel. Ooh, okay, so it looks like we may not get the full whale tail, but we're going to get a decent chunk of it. That's good enough. So I've got that much to work with to put Iflowboy at YouTube. That's the channel. You obviously know that because you found your way here if you're watching this broadcast. But if you're trying to, you know, tell your friends and you don't have access to a device to do a share or find me, if you do a search in YouTube, Iflowboy, as you'll see when I spell this, Iflowboy at YouTube, that should get you to my channel. If you haven't subscribed, I'm going to have to make this smaller, otherwise it's not going to fit. Please, you know, subscribe. I'd be very grateful. It will give me continued encouragement to keep doing more and to hopefully get myself into a regular broadcast schedule so that people can regularly tune in and participate as much as possible. Give me the feedback, tell me what stuff you want to see. As I say all the time, you know, I have in my mind, I have ideas of what people might want to watch or see or understand about either Minecraft as a game. And when I say that, let me just correct or clarify. I don't play Minecraft like most people would do, which is to actually do the game modes as such. I go in and I design and build things in Minecraft, buildings, structures, roads, things like that. So yeah, you know, so in terms of what I'm doing here in the game, in Gran Turismo Sport, or what I'm doing in Minecraft, I very rarely will do any other sort of game broadcast, even though I have lots of other games. Generally speaking, I only will do broadcasts for either of those two games because I think they're the only two games where I guess I can do something that would, I guess, add interest or relevance or perspective. All the other games that I have, they're just games that you play. I don't even know if they have the capability of broadcasting while you play. But I've got some simulator games, I've got some fighting games, some like flying games or battle games, that sort of thing, in ships or what have you. That is low, isn't it? It looks a bit tall too. I'm just making some minor adjustments here. You probably can't even see that it's moving, but I'm just making the tiniest adjustments to keep it all accurate. And again, I'm not using the guidelines. I should really do that, because the shape itself that I'm putting these to is not dead flat, but I guess I'm just relying on my gained skill through experience of doing this over and over again, that I can get the alignment right just using my eyes and taking my time. And that's a good example there. You can see just a fraction smaller, and I want to widen it a bit, although I am mindful that I'm running out of room. I've still got to place 4 letters, and I've got to do it before I effectively get to be in line with that U, so I'm going to struggle. I can see that already, mainly because the W itself is a wide character. So 2 things I'm going to do: move this over again, and I'm going to make it more narrow, which, you know, I prefer to have the letters a bit thicker, like I've done them, but at the end of the day I've got to be governed by the space that's available. So make that a bit smaller too, bring it up. Yep, good. Yeah, so look, you'll find often that you'll do this, particularly with characters, when you're trying to do what I'm doing. It's just the way it is. It's you know, your eyes try to give you a perfect perspective. It still looks too tall, doesn't it? Okay, that's better. Yeah, but sometimes what you'd like to do and what you're able to do are 2 different things. Yeah, it's a bit tall. Just making adjustments here to keep the alignment right. I need 2 O's because it's Iflowboy, and that's about where I want it to be, which means I've got to fit a W and a B into that gap. So let's see if I can. Oops. There are 2 ways of doing this, putting it where I'm putting it. I feel though, after doing this now about 10 times, that this is the quicker way. The other way was about putting the characters on the top of the wing and then doing what I call bleeding it through, and that probably doesn't mean much when I say that without me showing you, but what you've got in your controls, and I'll go to it in a second, the W is always the hardest letter. I just think that's the O, but it's actually the W. Okay. The B is going to be a tight fit. So, this button here, which is the set projection area button, what it allows you to do is effectively influence the angle limit and the depth limit of any decal that you put on a car. So effectively, by moving that to 4, and it goes from 0 to 10, either negative or positive, is it allows you to bleed, and I can maybe do this if it works on the other side. So I'll select 10 and 10 on the W, and maybe no, because that's not a displayable or a decal applicable area. I can't show you, but if that was a normal surface at the top, you'd now see the W through there. But it's not, and I don't need to bleed it, so I'll put it back to the normal setting of neutral, 0 and 0. But yeah, is there somewhere else where I can bleed it through on this car? No, there's not. No, no, there won't be a surface that I can show you the bleeding, as I call it. But it's a printing term, bleeding, and it kind of means that colour or an item or whatever the section that you colour effectively bleeds either through to the other side or bleeds right out to the edge of a surface. So that's what it allows you to do. So in some cars, if I was able to place the lens at the top of this rear spoiler, and certainly for most of the cars with spoilers, you can absolutely do what I'm talking about. You would then see that character coming through on this side. Unfortunately, this area can't be coloured or printed, which is a pity, because I would love to do something on that big piece of whale tail, as I call it. But I guess I'm not going to be able to do it because it won't let me. I guess that's a Porsche design issue that they've said to the polyphony crew, that you can't make that a changeable or a decal area. I think for any car company that's stipulated that in the design brief that they've given polyphony when they've given them the rights to use their vehicle images, is that they're kind of stifling the creativity. Anyway, it is what it is. Maybe in the new game, those car manufacturers will realise that it's actually better for them to let their potential clients do what I'm talking about. It's a bit of a squeeze, isn't it? I can probably move the O over a bit. I don't have much space to play with everywhere else. I'm just moving this so that it's in normal order, as you can see now. Move that up a bit, move it across, and now I've just got to hope that my Y, look, if it goes a bit over and it's not dead center, I'm not too worried, because the YouTube decal, which is a one-piece decal, thank goodness, is normally more narrow than, or takes up less space. Takes up less space than my Iflowboy name. So from that perspective, I'm not that worried. I'm always trying to achieve perfect aesthetics, which to me means symmetry. And so, yes, I'm always mindful that I do that every time and with everything that I'm doing. Okay. Just make that a little bit wider because it's a bit narrow in comparison to the other characters. It's pretty close. I'm not going to split hairs over that. My only other thought is, am I better off making all those characters yellow rather than white? Let's have a look at what one looks like, seeing as we're in there. Alright, one way to determine it would be to put the YouTube decal on there. I'm not planning to do that immediately because I've got to put the ampersand or @ symbol first. I don't have to be specific with this, what I'm doing it. I'm just theoretically trying to save time and show you how it will plonk it exactly where your crosshair says to plonk it. So you can see there. Bring that down again, maximize the space. Good. Now I can put the YouTube decal. Now I just moved the YouTube decal to where it belonged. I had a weird thing happen the other day, and it sometimes happens like a glitch, I guess, in the game, and my YouTube decal would not resize for me. So you can see that it's wide. Now this is what I mean about if you don't change the colour. Where's the word you? It's impossible to see, so I'm going to see what it looks like in yellow, and if it's bold enough, as I say, then we might run with it. this right. You can see that it's a lot thinner than I've tried to make it. I think the yellow looks okay. I quite like it actually. Alright, let's go with yellow, people. What was I saying? Okay, I'm going to join a party and see if my friend John, who's another really good designer, wants to be in my broadcast. Let's see. We'll soon find out. If he says no, I'll leave the party. Alright, let's see what happens, folks. Good morning, John. Now I do have to let you know that I am in the middle of doing a broadcast as I'm finishing a livery, and if you don't want to be part of it, I totally understand, and I'll jump back out of the party. But if you're okay with it, yeah. Hi. So I was just saying that you're a great designer, and don't know. I'm doing my decal for my channel on the back of the 930 and the bottom of the whale tail. I was just talking about the location and locating characters when you have to put them on a car. Is there anything you want to add or share, or any tips you want to mention to people?
Probably nothing that I can sort of chip into, at least half an amateur.
John,
that I have.
Ethan's just made a comment because you can't see my screen because they're not doing a party share, but Ethan is watching the broadcast and he's just said, John Nick, famous on how on YouTube, famous now he on YouTube, lol, and I can't hear him. Well, Ethan, join the party, join the chat party, and then you can be heard as well. Anyway, this is what I'm doing. Is I'm doing my 400 follower livery. You've got more than 400. How many followers have you got now?
Me? Yeah. I just got my 645th.
Nice, nice. Yeah. So John's way ahead of me. He's look. I don't want to steal your thunder. Maybe you can share more about what you do with your liveries and what your focus is more on. So that for anybody watching this broadcast.
Basically, when I started my liveries, everyone was focusing on the modern V8 supercars, sort of 2015 onwards, and that era didn't really interest me. So I sort of paying attention to the Group C and the Group A cars from the 70s, 80s, and early 90s, and I developed my following from there. But I've sort of dabbled with a couple of rally cars and Le Mans cars and IMSA cars. So.
Yeah, okay, cool. And are most of your followers, because of that, more Australian based, or are they evenly spread around the world in terms of being aware?
It was quite heavily Australian based because let's face it, it's only the Australian guys that know a lot about the old touring cars, Australian touring cars. But I've got a couple of Europeans as I started to do the Le Mans series cars. So when I did and some of the European touring cars, the people like Johnny Cicotto and Steve Soper and Pierre Didonne and people like that.
Yeah, which obviously people around the world would know about.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. And what are you doing in the game right at this moment? Are you doing some livery design yourself, or are you just jumping in to have a bit of a look? Or?
Well, I've got to design a couple of liveries for the new league that we're jumping in. So
okay.
I've got to think of something sort of casserole based.
So John and I race in a new league that only just started. We had our second round on Thursday night, didn't we? Which yes. I think you cleaned up again.
Yeah, and unfortunately a fellow racer had a bit of bad luck, and I reaped all the rewards from it.
I don't know if it was bad luck. I think it was a case that I screwed up. Anyway, I think the game was glitching. It seemed very odd. Not that I want to digress for people that don't have a clue what we're talking about, but yeah, I thought it was very odd that I'd ran on fuel 6 for the whole first stint of the race, went into the pits, changed back to full fuel, and came back out, and yeah, my car was just a totally different car. And
Your car was behaving like you're on a harder compound tyre. That's
correct.
how it looked from my area.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it felt like. It felt like the game had, and I did change tyres in terms of did a tyre change. I didn't have to, but I thought, oh, we'll put new tyres on. I had a big enough gap to do it. Yeah, but from that point on, it just was terrible. And then when it had that ridiculous lose at such a low speed, I was like, yeah, well, this is a wasted cause. But anyway, not to take away from your victory on the night, because you well and truly deserved it. You won the previous 2 races comfortably from memory. So you've got a massive lead in points, I imagine. I haven't seen the league point score, but...
Nah, me neither, to be perfectly honest. But it's all in it for fun anyway. I'm not really worried about the points.
Yeah, sure. That's what they all say. That's what Lewis Hamilton says. I don't really care about records. Oh, did I break that record? Did I? Oh. I'll keep pushing. Well, what do you keep pushing for if you're not trying to beat records? Anyway, that's another conversation.
The red news.
So what are you going to do? What car will you be doing a livery for the Castrol, with a Castrol feel?
Probably the Group 3 Mustang, since that's the car I said I'll be in.
Okay.
So
this is for the Down Under League.
Yes.
Aha, which Ethan, who's also watching, he's just dropped out again, watching the broadcast, is coordinating with another friend of ours in the game called JD Brooks. We did a preliminary session last night, which I actually really enjoyed. The shootout thing, it was kind of fun.
Yeah,
what did you think?
I watched the live stream of the top 14 shootout, and I got a fair bit of attention going off road and in the air. And...
Yeah, I saw the still shot. I couldn't find the broadcast, but I did see the still shot that he posted on his Facebook.
No, I found the broadcast this morning, and the car was all over the shop. Oddly enough, it actually went about half a second quicker than my previous lap, when it was sort of rather, sedate and controlled and boring looking.
Yeah, weird, hey? Well, what they say, it doesn't matter how you get attention. I'll tell you one thing, I don't know if you were still in the room, but after we finished the qualifying and we went into just, people doing whatever they wanted to do, Nick, who raced with us last week, and he is very fast, he's an A plus, I think, is his rating. He was still going around in his Subaru, and I just thought, out of curiosity, I'd jump in the Volkswagen, and I did a 107.2 or a 107.3 in that Volkswagen, the GR3.
Yes, I did see that actually. It sort of half tempted me to get back out and try and crack an 8 in the Mustang, but I don't think I'm that quick, to be honest.
Oh, you can. I think in each of those laps that I did the high 108s, there is definitely more there in it. I think if I can get the entry right into turn 1, that entry to turn 1 ultimately determines your lap. Yeah. Because if you think about the lap, there's two critical points. There's how you get through that section, because you've then got, I think it is actually the longest run under full throttle there, and then obviously down the back of the track at turn 7, I think it is, coming out for the back straight. So those two things, they make such a difference to what your overall lap time is going to be, because they ultimately determine how much speed you take on when you get to full throttle.
Yeah, it's really the type of track you need to sort of work on getting that power down early.
Yeah. Alright, so you're going to do a Mustang livery, and it's going to be Castrol. Are you going to do like traditional Castrol colours, or are you going to do a bit of a different theme?
Not too sure yet. Not too sure. We'll have to sort of investigate what's going on.
Well, I might just give you a quick preview of this, so you can give me a reaction to it. It's gone for a bit of a theme with. I've just used a 985 930 turbo for my 400 follower livery, and I've gone with a bit of a theme. I'm just fighting with the rear bumper at the moment because I'm just doing a bit of colour coding on it just to make it match up with the front bumper. You know, the rubber stops on the bumper on the 985 turbo. I'm just trying to colour code that the same way. It's been a bit painful. I think I've done it. Well, at least where I want to do it. I've just got to duplicate on the other side now. So I'll finish doing that, and then I'll just quickly do a screenshot and flick it to you and you can have a look. Unless you want to go on YouTube and find the broadcast. I don't know if it's... yeah, it should be on there, shouldn't it? Because I did do it as a live. Ah, wrong button, Sean.
Oh, that's what we can find.
You don't have to, I can just do a screenshot now and show you. Probably easier. Send it to you as a message.
No, it's just more a case to see what I can find for my...
oh, yeah, decals and things. Yeah. Cool.
Because I'll be...
oh, yep, okay. So the 400 followers, you know, about cars and you're following people. I thought, oh, well, maybe I should do a road theme for the actual livery. So that's what I've tried to do. I've tried to emulate dual carriageway effectively, and it just continues on. If I do a roof shot, probably be a bit easier to see it too, even though I've got a fair bit of alpha characters on it. I'll show you the roof view and make more sense. I hope. Okay, so what else do I need to do to declare this finished? I'm not really gonna... I might put a Porsche decal on it somewhere, but that's probably the only other thing I'm gonna do to it. I've got to do the mirrors. Oh, and I've got to put a blank in the rear there too. Any luck finding good decals?
It's just more the inspiration I'm trying to find than anything else. There'll be plenty of cash-roll stuff, that's for sure.
What would an inverted livery look like? Yeah, because I'm pretty sure from memory with your other Gagan ones, it's mainly white with the green, right?
Yeah.
What would a all green with white look like? Would that be like too far away from?
I'm actually looking more at the sort of 90s spec when everything was Castrol GTX.
Ah, okay, so like Perkins
Everything was
kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'm thinking more of John Ford, the John Ford's funny car. Where it's
Oh,
predominantly
okay.
white with
Drag
the red
car.
and, with the red and green, yeah.
Okay.
Something like that.
Yeah, why not? That'd look alright, wouldn't it?
I haven't done. Well, I'm not aware of many that look like that. Oh, speaking of which, there he is there, John Ford.
Oh, you found it in the decal
Well,
library?
I mean,
or are you looking just general pictures?
I'm just looking at general pictures on the phone. There's a Ford Mustang Castrol GDX funny car. So.
Ah, there you go. Who was the other? Victor Bray had one too, didn't he?
Victor Bray was
a big Chevy. I don't know. Was it not a Nova? It was a.
No, it was a Bel Air 57.
Bel Air, that's right. Yeah.
But he actually had a teammate named Troy Critchley who had the Ford Custom line.
Well, that would have been alright.
Yeah, it didn't do too bad.
That's interesting. I'm going to fix that. Oh, I know, I can flip it. Getting a bit adventurous here.
See how we go, I suppose.
Yeah, that's all you can do, eh? Damn, didn't work. the big rubber, what do you call them? Impact absorber. They've got them either side of the number plate on the Porsche, and you wouldn't have seen
Oh, yeah. The little overriders.
Yeah, and I'm trying to not fill it all up. I'm just trying to... Oh, that's not what I want to do. I'm just trying to fill the... I don't know what you call it even, the inner section, I guess. Not the edging on either side. That's oh, I know what I can do. I've just thought of... I know what I can do to do it. The inside of it's a bit trickier because of the angle. But I can use the... not the... well, I guess they are a bit elliptical, the shape. You know those fat elliptical shapes in shape 1?
Yep.
Yeah, I think that should work for me. The crescent moon ones, probably a better way to describe them. I think I can make them work. For those watching the broadcast, what I'm doing now is I'm just playing around with some different shapes to fill in the space I want to fill in. And that's half the trick, isn't it, John? filling in the awkward shapes that present on a car. You know, engineers are wonderful people when they create these cars. They don't tend to think about other aspects of... You know,
much like most of humanity, just think about themselves and that's about it.
Yeah, well, I think I told you the story about my last minor repair that I had to do to my actual BMW, where I had a $30 little hose connector pipe that sat at the top of the, I guess the cam or rocket cover, whatever you call it. And BMW wanted to charge me $1,500 to replace it, and it was literally a $29.98 part.
That doesn't surprise me one bit, actually.
Yeah, well, you know, you work on cars, eh?
Yeah. And a lot of them are European now.
Okay, that seems to have worked. I'm not over the moon with it, but... What are your thoughts, because I talked a lot earlier in the broadcast about accuracy with your livery designs and, you know, why I'm pedantic about it, and I'm pretty sure you are too. What are your, when you think about, you know, applying that level of, I guess, accuracy, you know, what's your motivation behind, you know, treating your livery design like that?
Oh, I mean, look, it comes down to the car you're trying to apply it to. If it's the direct replica from the actual car, say a BMW M3, the 89 model, and you're trying to do the JPS BMW, well then obviously you want to get that bang on, because that's period correct and that's exactly how people remember it. If you're trying to adapt that JPS BMW livery onto, say, the Group 3 M6, you know, you got to make do with what you got. But I mean, I always push to try and get it as accurate as possible within reason.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know, I what I talked about was a couple of things, and what I said was that, you know, if you're going to do it and you're going to invest the time, you know, you should take pride in what you're doing, and you want it to look as good as you can. I said the other thing too is that when you're doing the livery design, if you know whether it's a replica or it's an original, you want it to stand out, and you don't want to stand out for the wrong reasons. So, you know, taking the time and doing it right, and you know when you're driving around that it is going to be unique as a car.
There's plenty of people out there that are quite, I suppose, passionate about the accuracy of the replication.
That didn't work. Should have done a horizontal. Okay. That's better. Okay. Yeah, it's... You know, I was also talking about liveries in terms of people that just grab a decal that's a wrap and they stretch it all over the car and then whack one or two decals on it and go, there you go, there's my livery, look at that. And I sort of voiced my concerns that to me that's not what I necessarily regard as a proper livery, because it's something that anybody can just jump in and do. Whereas if you put more effort into, you know, focusing on lines and contours and things like that, you really are doing more to enhance the car. I'm interested in, you may have a totally opposed view to that, but curious to know what you think.
It doesn't... I've always been on the case of make your own design. I think stretching wallpaper over a car has never been my thing, although I am guilty of doing it to get out of trouble. I don't think it's... I don't think it should be anyone's
standard or general method.
It should be used an assistant, not as your dominant feature.
Yeah, exactly. And I made the comment that, you know, I have those sort of pattern decals, and I have put them on parts of a car, but I've never ever stretched it over a whole car. It's only ever been to achieve something on a certain part of the car, and it's usually, you know, 10%, 20% of the car, if that.
Yeah, I have done it because I've been in leagues where I've had to have a livery in very quick succession, and that's what I've done to get myself out of the trouble.
Yeah.
But I've never really enjoyed doing that as my design. It's not really my design if I've just sort of grabbed someone else's and stuck it over my car.
Yeah. Yeah, I just, you know, and I also then went on to talk about clean cars or just painted cars, and people bringing them into car shows and saying, here's my livery. And I pointed out the two key things for me is that, you know, the paint of the car is the paint of the car, and some colours may look better on a car than others, but effectively it's still just paint on a car. And the other big thing is that anybody in the game could, within 30 to 60 seconds, replicate that. And so, you know, how original is it as a livery? I don't know what your thoughts are on that either. I'm interested to hear.
People, well, I've never been against it, because people would, you know, will use the RE Amamiya RX-7 with the wings and shit all over it. You know, people would look at that and would dream of have a car like that, and they can put whatever colours that they envision that they would have it, if, you know, as their dream car, or a set of wheels as their dream car. So, you know, people, and I've done it. I've made road car liveries on, you know, on standard motor cars or standard N-class cars.
Yeah, yeah.
And they've been quite popular, so I'm not against it. It's just what people want to see and what they want to make.
But do you think when people enter them into a car show, do you think, you know, that's not really something that's unique, or do you still go, oh, okay, that's all right? It's, you know.
Oh, look, if they're following a particular theme or a particular category, you know, I'll certainly appreciate it, but I wouldn't see it as a livery. It's just a paint job.
Yeah, exactly, and that's a very good way to describe it. That it's a paint job. It's not really a livery. Yeah.
I mean, a livery is a, you know, sponsored billboard basically, or, you know, a pattern paint job. One colour or two colours isn't a livery.
Yeah.
In my opinion, anyway.
Yeah, no, I'm the same. You know, and I kind of, you know, I look at it from this perspective of, is it unique? Like, have you done something that anybody else to do what you've done would either have to take photos of your car and duplicate it, or they'd have to go away into the livery editor and expend a certain amount of time trying to recreate what you've done, and could they do that 100% accurately without not having all the layers and all the different decals, dimensions and everything right at their fingertips in the exact proportion that you created them on your car? And the answer for a proper livery is no, they couldn't. Whereas when it comes to a clean paint job, if somebody, well, we saw it the other night. What was that car that came in the room in the standard paint? And it just looked really good. As good as it looked, either of us could have jumped out and 60 seconds later had the exact same car. And that to me is the key thing about when you bring a paint job into a car livery show. It's really not appropriate in my mind. But I don't want to say that people doing plain paint are stupid, or that they're missing the point, or that they shouldn't bother, because paint in itself does make a car look beautiful.
I personally think people do it just as their envision on their dream car, or just...
Yeah, that's right. They're sort of living out their vicariously living out their fantasy of owning a particular car and it looking a certain colour. Yeah.
They're
absolutely.
They're colouring a car to a particular theme, and if that's their aim, if that's what they've executed, well then good on them.
Yeah. Hey, here's the thing for you. Have you done a livery on this 930 Turbo at all? Because I'm trying to get a decal onto the side of the whale-tail wing, but at the moment it's not really playing ball. It's flashing, but it's not solid flashing, if that makes sense. So at the moment it's not letting me place something there. I'm just trying to see if I can trick it.
I think I have, but I think I just coloured the tail in.
Okay.
Let me have a look. Because I actually did an old Australian touring car.
Hang on, I think I figured it out. I've got it on there. I've just done it. So what I've had to do...
You made me back out of my car for nothing.
Sorry, mate. I just selected body left, grabbed the decal that I wanted, and then just basically poured it across, and it's let me sit it on the side of the whale tail, which is great. I'm very happy with that. What's this going to look like if I change it to this colour? Probably rubbish. Alright, maybe I can cheat a bit here. Well, not cheat for those of you watching the broadcast. What I'm going to do is turn it into a multi-layered decal to achieve the effect that I want, which is the yellow outline, which is exactly what it's done. So thank you very much, game, for accommodating me. Whoops, too far. I'm just trying to give it a bit of that 3D look. So, yeah, that looks good. I'm happy with that. Yay. Don't you love it when you fluke something? Oh, Sean.
I must admit, I felt a little guilty last night when poor old Ethan was trying to get me to confirm what car and what livery and what number. And everything was no. Everyone's going, yep, me, no.
Should have done it the other way around. I really like the yellow and black on the rear whale tail. The problem is if I zoom out as far as I can in preview or in decal livery design, you can hardly see it. Alright, let me reverse the colours and see what happens. Don't know if it's going to look as good though. I've got to resize it too, haven't I? Okay, grab that. Move that to there. And then resize it so that it's now black on yellow. It doesn't look anywhere near as good. Nah. Well, that's annoying. Looks rubbish actually. Undo. Swap them back over. New plan. I think the new plan is that that's got to be white, not black. But then... I don't think it's going to look as good. Wow. Unreal, isn't it? It's amazing how you change the colour and it just totally changes the effect of a decal. I'll give you an example. I'll do a quick screenshot of this and I'll show you the other side. So this is the left side. From being black to being white. And the second one looks a million times better. Problem is, when I zoom out from it, you can hardly see. Problem solved. So that's what I'll do. Convert that to black. And then make the background, I think, a light grey, I think would work.
Well, here's my progress so far with the Castrol thing.
Sweet, send it over.
I've done almost nothing, but you know,
That's okay.
I'm trying to work it out as I go along.
That's alright, I'll try to pick at it as much as I can.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Okay, let's... Here, because I've got to remember exactly what it is, and I can do it by going to the decal library, so I will, and then I'll screenshot it for you. Right, I don't care where it is, I'm just going to go find it. Where is it living? I think it's living in here somewhere. Where did I put all the Mazda ones? In here? I think in here. Oh, maybe not. I remember I've moved a lot of my decals. Here it is, found it. How am I going to do this to show it to you? I'll just stick it on the car and just take it off. It's easy fixed. Oh, why is it flashing? What do I mean? Other section, am I? That was pretty stupid of me. Alright, discard. Yes, I was in other. Okay, duh. Sorry,
I have
folks.
to admit, full credit for JD and Ethan last night for putting on the show last night. The commentary.
You can just tell they're into all that side of it, aren't they?
Oh, they
you know,
love
good
it.
on them. Good on them. Right. You know, especially the safety car stuff. You know,
Full
safety
credit
car,
to
noise of the
doing
car.
everything they did.
Yeah. Red 3. You know, they're really into that side of running the race,
yeah.
which is great. I mean, you know, they could just be like, oh, we don't give a shit. Line up, we're going. But no, it's really good. They're funny together too. Oh no, this is the no, that's not the time. You're not seeing the timer. It's kind of like what you imagine Mark Scaife and Neil Crompton might really be like if they.
You know what? I actually did think that last night, Tim. This is just like the EV8s or something like that.
Yeah. Well, that actually, I was watching it earlier on KO. It's actually paused. They're doing because they've restarted the E series, but not with many. I think there's only one. I think James Golding is in it. I think he's the only V8 supercar in this round. But I was saying that they're going to have wild cards and they're going to have some of the V8 drivers jumping in. But it's mainly the actual proper E series guys competing for the E series.
Yeah.
And they're at Detroit, one of the NASCAR tracks, or one of the IndyCar tracks, yeah. At the race about halfway through the first race. And that Aussie guy, Rogers, whatever his name is, who's the champ, he was leading. Okay, now, I know where it was, I found it. So I'm just going to bring it up. Oops, wrong one. Yeah, in here. Sorry, I didn't mean to take so long, but yeah, I think this is a really clever decal, I reckon. Alright, now I'll zoom in and screenshot it. It's just sitting on the side of the Porsche, so don't pay any attention to the background. I thought it was really clever. I haven't used it, but I grabbed it in case one day I will. Kind of signifies that there is, you know, real talent to what we do, because you know, starting with a blank canvas and then just as you go creating your livery, which, you know, is really a hit and miss exercise. Thankfully, most of the times you hit rather than miss.
Well, I mean, the bits that you see are my hits. I don't sort of record the all the misses.
Oh mate, no,
Otherwise I'd fill up my album. No worries.
I have plenty of failures, and I can even let me save this because I'm pretty sure I haven't done the wing mirrors. I'll do the wing mirrors. That's going to be a pretty easy exercise. I'm just going to put some lines and 400 on them, I think. That's what I'm planning to do. Yeah, I've probably still got sitting in the garage saved liveries where I haven't finished the livery, but the work was atrocious and I scrapped it. Even the other day, those two Momo cars, I think I did 2 iterations of them and went, nah. So yeah, it's fairly common thing when you're just creating off the cuff. Can I make this fit a Porsche logo as well? I'm pretty sure I can. No Stuart yet.
I'm sure he'll be on.
He's probably still. He came on last night after you jumped off, and he confessed. But Nikki must have been home, so maybe she's going to her mum's today, like she used to do. Maybe she's not. I don't know.
Probably different lockdown procedures than that now. She's probably got a bit more.
She can just go whenever she likes, right? Yeah, forgot about that. What's it been like down there now, 2 days in?
It's been like Boxing Day specials.
Oh, really?
It's fucking chaos. It is absolute chaos.
Everybody getting out and buying all the shit that they couldn't buy for 3 months, 4 months.
Well, they haven't been able to actually just pick it up and look at it or feel it or anything. Everything's been online.
Yeah.
I haven't been to the shop specifically for that reason, but I've seen footage of it and it's bullshit. It really is.
Yeah. Oh, but I guess from an economic perspective, it's good to hear.
Oh, I mean, it was exactly what everyone predicted it to be. And you're right. From an economic point of view, there's a lot of businesses that were, on the cusp of failing.
Yeah.
Now they've got half a chance of making it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been tough everywhere. Like, I mean, we can't imagine what Melbourne's been like in shutdown. But even for us, where we've been open, but the reality is that, I was saying to somebody the other day, I was, who was it? It was Shady, I think, TKR Shady. He'd sent a photo of this is my office, and it was a beautiful, picturesque shot of some kind of landscape out and about. And I think Matt, your friend Matt, your friend Matt,
BFF.
Yeah, BFF, then shot a picture of his office or whatever he was doing, and then I thought, I'll take a snap from my office, and I just took it. I usually sit in the boardroom most of the time, where I've got the really big Cisco screens on. I can just make calls and make video calls to people as I need to, and I thought, I'll shoot them a snapshot of that. And then I thought, I'll shoot them a snapshot of the view out of the office, because I'm 21 floors up, right next to the river. So, and I did one from a side window which looked down on Eagle Street, which is effectively not that you can officially say Brisbane has a financial district, but Eagle Street is kind of where all the big financial corporates, if they do have offices, that's where they are.
Yeah.
And I took a shot looking down on Eagle Street from the side windows of our office. And Shady came back and went, it's like a ghost town. I said, yeah, pretty much at the moment. It's only about 30% of its, and it has been since the lockdown, 30% of people in the city that normally are in there. Because a lot of
there's photos for us in CBD, like our Spencer Street station and Southern Cross station and Fed Square and all the big social and business district, basically. Like literally not a soul around. You almost think it was staged for a photo shoot. It's been pretty bad because all the people who work in the city,
are all working from home.
They've got the capability of working at home. And the ones that don't are people like cafes and eateries, and they can't open.
Yeah, and this is what I was saying to somebody. I said, yeah, the reason why Brisbane is still that quiet is that for a lot of the companies, they would not be headquartered here. They would be based in Melbourne or Sydney, but they've applied a blanket policy across the company that says people work from home. And so, like for the major partners we deal with, like Cisco and Microsoft and VMware and Palo Alto, and then the major distributors like Ingram Micro and Dicker Data, all of their staff, even if they're based up in Queensland, are all still working from home. Even when it's perfectly fine. We haven't had I think we're now 28 days without a community transfer or something or other. They were saying yesterday, I thought I heard them say.
Okay.
But yeah, because the organisations have applied this policy across the company, most people are still working from home. That's why the CBD is still so quiet. But yeah,
so it's pretty it's fairly unusual here at the moment.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it gets back to normal. Hopefully.
It will eventually, but it will take a long time.
Yeah. Well, the important thing is the Boxing Day test is on again.
Yeah. Well, they cancelled the Geelong Revival on me.
What's the Geelong Revival? Is that a car show of some sort?
The Geelong Revival, think of it as Goodwood.
Oh, okay.
The Goodwood Revival, but it's actually on the Geelong Esplanade.
Nice.
So it's a 400 metre sort of
I've been to Geelong several times.
Yeah, well, it's on the Esplanade there, so it's against the pier.
Beautiful.
So they have a classic car show there, and they have.
Do they actually run down the pier, or do they just the road and all the car park that's in front of it?
All the road and car park. So all that
nice.
So all the car park is pit lane.
Yeah.
For the competitors, and the road itself is the sprint.
Ah, okay, cool.
So it's actually not a straight line. It's actually quite a hard
it's curved.
curve.
Yeah.
And that curve really tightens up when you're doing 150, 160 clicks.
Yeah, I was down there. I was last in Geelong. I flew down there last year in June, was it? I think June last year. Yeah, we had in my old role, I was a national wholesale partner manager, and we had 6 or 7 partners based in Greater Melbourne, and I was talking to a couple of organisations down in Geelong that were interested in becoming a wholesale partner. So yeah, flew down a couple of days. I can normally do, hired a car and bolted down there to see them. And I actually like Geelong. I think it's really nice.
Geelong along the waterfront's quite nice.
Yeah.
It's a very big social district. Yeah. It doesn't have a big nightlife that I'm aware of, but
I wouldn't expect it to be.
But particularly the warmer months, it's.
Well, I imagine that for Melbournians, people either go to Phillip Island or they head down to Geelong as a day trip sort of thing.
Well, I mean, if you're on the southeast side of Melbourne, which is me, it's probably a good 1.5 hour odd drive.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 hour drive, so it's probably a bit much for a day, but definitely a weekend away, yeah. Phillip Island for me is about 40-minute drive.
Ah, okay, nice.
50-minute drive, yeah.
Yeah, I have friends, they lived in Vermont, but they bought a holiday house down on the island. I think they sold, he passed away. They're good friends of the family, and he and Dad worked together for many years as well. But yeah, they had a holiday house somewhere down near the island or on the island. Yeah, I've never actually been to Phillip Island. I've been down to Melbourne, I don't know, maybe 10, 12 times. Never been to Phillip Island.
Phillip Island's a really nice place for a family getaway. And it's also really good because of the Grand Prix that occur there throughout the year.
Yeah. I've been to the Grand Prix only once. despite planning to go 4 or 5 times, I've actually only ended up going there once. And yeah, loved it. I want to go again. I want to go do Singapore. I would like to go and do Spa, absolutely Spa. Probably the other Grand Prix I'd like to do is Monaco. I'd love to go to the Monaco Grand Prix.
I think it'd be awesome to see, but I just can't generate the interest in going.
Yeah, I think you have to. Sorry, just got a bit of a tip here on livery. So I talked earlier about bleeding, everybody. This is what I'm talking about. You can see here the Porsche decal has bled across to the back, so I now need to clean that up. And that's okay, it's not that hard to do. All I can do is select the decal, zoom in so I can see what I'm doing. Select the set projection, area. Sorry, it just took me back from a that's annoying. Let me reposition myself so you can see. Okay, and I select that, and what I'm doing is doing negative to get rid of it. So you can see the black disappearing. I do one more just to be safe. Same 2, 3, 4. That shouldn't affect the front. No, and it hasn't. And then I've just got to repeat that. Now ideally I would have done that before I duplicated them, but I wasn't watching. Too busy yakking, not paying attention. So I've just got to do all 4 on their own, and then I'm pretty much done with this livery. Interesting thing is, I could actually use that space because I could bleed through. I just have to recover. Bit messy. What do you got on today? Nick home or she out?
Nah, she's out. She's at her friend's house.
The second husband, eh?
She's at the second husband's house, yes. And just to clear that up, no, they don't actually do anything like that. Being a married couple, they probably just sit there and argue and bicker at each other. No, they're just they're close friends, and they've got a lot of.
They're into anime, right?
Yeah, they do a lot of anime and do a lot of video gaming. Video gaming that I'm not interested in.
Yeah.
And they're both big on Japan, so they talk about Japan an awful lot more than I can tolerate. As much as I love Japan, I can't talk about it for 5 hours straight.
No.
It gives me time to sort of do my own thing, and I'm shopping around for a project car at the moment. And
are you?
Yeah.
What are you going to get?
I'm thinking a mid-90s Fairlane, V8 Fairlane.
Ooh, you know, what was I watching the other night, and I thought immediately of you. There was some show.
I don't know if that's good or not now.
No, it was. It was good. There was some. It was either the news, TV news, or a current affair. Something I never normally watch. Right. I've lately, it's seriously in the last 6 months, I would have been lucky to have spent an hour watching commercial TV. I watch ABC a lot, but I would be lucky to have spent an hour watching commercial TV because to me it's just rubbish now. Anyway, I just happened to be flicking stations for some reason. I'm sure it was a late version of a current affair, and they were doing a story on something. I cannot remember what the story was, and it probably doesn't matter, but they cut to this footage, and guess what was in the picture? It was an LTD. It was an LTD, not the Landau, but the model immediately after the Landau with the twin headlights, but the big headlight and the small headlight, unlike the Fairlanes, which had the two.
The circular one for me.
Yeah, and they had the space, Yeah, the marquee. That's right. Yes. And I immediately thought of you. Went, oh, there's an LTD. John would probably be into that. I mean, I was into them too at the time. I used to think the LTDs. I used to always be annoyed at my dad because my dad bought the Fairlane, and I was really, why didn't you buy the LTD? Oh, because didn't need it, son. For the extra money, don't need what you get in it. And I used to think, yeah, but they look better. I don't know why, I just really like the look of them. And Landaus, yeah, I mean, they're obviously a couple of years older, but I always loved, there was a guy that lived near us that had one, and he used to drive past our house, you know, probably once every 2 weeks at least, and as soon as he'd drive past, and I'd just always be enthralled by the headlights being covered. Always enthralled by it. You know, the grill, the continuation of the grill as the covers on the Landau. Just always enthralled me. Oh, look at that! They're hiding the lights, aren't they clever? Anyway, that's my little reflection. And now I was going to put. Or do I not? I don't think I will. I think that's enough. This is the problem when you get near the end of a livery for me sometimes. I think, do I need to add anything else? But I'm not going to. I'm going to finish it there. As they say in the classics, job done. Yeah, I quite like it actually. When I consider as a livery, it is quite simple, even though it has taken me some time. Haven't posted my McLaren F1 yet. I really love the F1 I did yesterday or night before. Did you see it?
I did see it. They look fucking wicked.
Yeah, it's not bad, is it?
Clearly the frustration was the right way to go.
Yeah. Yeah, well, those little colour fade strips, I think they just give it a really good effect. And the funny thing is, I took the standard GTR, I was sitting in my garage, I had it for ages, and I thought, oh, I should do a livery on that thing. And so I jumped in, and I really liked the standard base colour of that standard car, but it wouldn't let me like just immediately add a decal and get rid of all the other decals. You had to actually do a paint haul. And so I had to try and colour match it as close as I can, but it's not exactly the right colour, but I do like the colour that I selected. So yeah, I'm going to get out of here and I'm going to sort this car out in terms of putting it on.
It's funny actually, because I had a lot of trouble with what to do with my McLaren, the Group 3 one, and just doing the simple elf.
Yeah, which
livery.
is really effective actually. It's a beautiful livery. When you think about it, right? What is that? Maybe 20 decals?
If that, yeah.
Yeah, but it just has the impact. Now garage. So I need to tidy this car up in terms of its setup. So what I'm doing now is what I normally do for people watching the broadcast, which is effectively going into the garage and setting up the tune. Our friend Stuart often calls the liveries the tune, but I think I've got him on the right path now to calling his liveries liveries, and tunes being the mechanical side of adjusting the car, which is really odd when you consider his background. He should know way better than that, because Stuart comes from both motoring journalist background and motorsport background, so for him to be sort of using those terms in the way he does is quite amusing in certain ways. Anyway,
I think it's just easier to say tuned than
liveries.
I mean, in a way, you are fine-tuning a paint job, aren't you?
Yeah, I guess. Think about Thrimpy with his liveries. I wonder how he's going with his docking stuff. Thrimpy's a friend that John and I race with. He also does nice liveries too, to be fair to Thrimpy. Sam's his real name, but Thrimpy's his I am Thrimpy's his user ID, if you ever see him in the game, for anybody watching this. I've got somebody watching. I'm guessing it might be Ethan has jumped back on. Ethan, as you're seeing, I'm doing my standard tune. However, for Porsches, the two things that I do a bit different is I give it a bit more camber at the rear. I soften that one, and I soften that one and that one, and I have a really soft front anti-roll bar to try and get front end grip. And I do also make this a bit less than what I normally would to make it a bit more manageable, as I tend to slide. Isn't it funny how I've just had this basic tune and I just apply it pretty much to every car. I very rarely deviate much, if at all. Oh, dude. How's the Castrol car looking, mate? Coming together?
I'm actually not too disappointed by it. Normally I look at it and go, oh, I don't really like that, and sort of try something else, but this is just sort of falling into place a bit too well for my liking, actually.
You get nervous?
Yeah.
Am I going to do something wrong? Am I going to go off track?
No, it's a case of I think I'm going to get to the very end and go, no, I don't like that, then just waste 300 decals and go back to the very beginning.
Yeah, I reckon. So do you, like I talked about how I go about doing my design. I talked about the fact that I generally do one side. I don't know if you do the same thing or whether you add a decal on one side and then immediately duplicate it on the other. But okay, I'm going to see. Good. Finish that. Let me see if I can find some. Oh, just for those watching the broadcast, this is the view car feature. I think I mentioned it early in the broadcast, but it's just a great way, once you've completed a livery, to see the livery in motion, and you just access it from your garage. Of course, it'd be nice if they stopped doing night shots so we can actually see the car in the daylight. That's the other thing that blows me away, the number of people that want to run rooms in the night time. And I'm like, why? What? Are you not allowed out at night or something? Are you a vampire? What's the story? Oh, I like it in the day. And that French, I think it's France, they're in Paris somewhere, and they've stopped the set of lights and the lights change and the car drives out.
Oh, yeah, yep.
It was fucking good in that shot. That's for sure. I'm happy with it. Sorry for the language, folks, but I was excited. Oh, I haven't seen this outside shot before. That's a new one. Somewhere in the Alpine region, I'm guessing. Yeah. the greatest ever livery I've ever done, but I like it.
Yeah, I'll occasionally do a good scape with the car I've done, but I got to be in the mood for it. There's people out there that have done, 200 liveries, but they've done 900 scapes.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I can do that.
Well, when I first started, like, because I was adamant I wasn't going to share any of my liveries, I'm like, no, they're my liveries, I don't want, And what I tended to do is I tended to do like 6 or 7 scape shots of every car. And what I realised was that not only was I wasting my time, but it seemed that most people didn't really care to look at 7 pictures of the one car. So now it's very rare that I put more than 2. I'll do if I do 3, it's usually I'll do like a 3/4 front elevated shot, depending on the scape scene. I'll do effectively flip it and do a rear shot, and then I'll do, if they're both like ground level shots, then I'll go into like Monza or I'll go into Fuji, where you can do the elevated shot so you can see the roof and everything, and I'll do one of them, and then I'll just post those 3 photos if I'm going to post it.
Yeah, I don't tend to.
I know you get more into the effects, so you do a lot of really cool effect stuff, which I don't know. I just kind of like, I can have a crack at it. I could do some of the panning ones, but I've never played with any of the like the effects around sepia and all that sort of stuff. I think I've done maybe 2 or 3 black and white type pictures, and that's it.
I like doing the period correct stuff, and that's why I've sort of dabbled with the sepias and all that sort of stuff. Well, having said that, I won't tend to theme my escapes. I'll do one, or I'll do a couple that are 60s based in an old Le Mans car, and then I'll go something completely modern with the 3 BMWs, the evolution of the BMW M3.
Yeah.
The 3 of them together in like that black shadow effect.
Yep. Yeah, I don't mind doing I like doing a group shot where you've got 2 or 3. I mean, obviously I've got lots more of some cars than that, but you only can do 3 in a shot. I hope they fix that in GT7. Allow you to put more cars in the one shot. I think the problem that they've got is the screen real estate, where you can get close enough to see all the cars. That's my biggest challenge whenever I'm doing a 3-car picture, is trying to get all 3 of the cars in with good visibility of each of their liveries. 589, I've done 580. How many have you done? I've done 589 designs now. Fucking hell.
I'll be in the 500s, I think. I'm not too sure.
Isn't it amazing? Like, I've just exploded in the last 4 months. Isn't it funny? I used to have white background all the time, and I sort of just out of one day I went to doing the outdoor background, and I loved it and I switched to it. Now I'm finding I want to go back to the white background again.
It's funny because I always used the black background, and then I actually used outdoor, and I thought to myself, holy Christ, I can see things a lot more clearly now. I almost had to paint the car white to see anything.
Yeah.
I was using a lot more sort of using different colours so I can see contrast on where the decals are sort of sitting in a place.
Yeah.
I don't do that anywhere near as often anymore.
Yeah, well, the other thing that I've found now that I'm doing is when I'm actually doing the livery design, the default is set for outdoors, but as soon as I start to do the rear end, I switch it to white because it's just so hard to see. Yeah. Even the shadow on the other side, on the right side of the car in outdoor, is pretty bad when you're trying to see stuff. That's what I was going to do. I was going to show you some of the failures, wasn't I, that I probably still have saved. I think I do remove a lot of them, mainly because there's a limit of how many saved liveries you can have stored in your library. And I hit that limit the other week. I couldn't work out what was going on. It wouldn't let me save, and what the hell? And then I realised what it was. So, because I often will not finish a livery in one sitting, you save it, and then you'll save a second iteration and a third iteration. And also because if I do share the livery, I don't do it every time because sometimes I forget. But most times I'll actually do a second livery. I change the wheels. I put S.L. I used to do the whole shared livery. Now I just put S.L. discreetly at the back somewhere, and I'll change either the wheel color or the wheel style. Mainly both if I can, but if it looks too crappy I won't. But yeah, so that takes up storage space, I guess, or slots. Now I'm going to do this. Go to my library. Yeah, go to my library. That's where you can see them all. Hopefully I haven't deleted the most recent ones. Oh, fuck. Oh, you already saw that, so I won't show you that. I'm trying to find some. I probably have been too fastidious and cleaned it all up. All those dirt cars. Oh, here's an example. Preview. It'll be a moving screenshot in this preview mode, won't it? It automatically rotates. That's probably not going to be the right angle because it took too long. Let me see.
Now you sort of keep going, hoping it'll work, and it doesn't.
Yeah.
Mind you, the more powerful the car gets, with the bigger flares and body bits and all that sort of stuff, the harder they actually
The harder they are, yeah. Let's see if I find any others. Good job of going through and cleaning out all my. I'm struggling. Oh yeah, okay. This one here. I don't know if you've even seen. So I'll show you. I may not have even bought this Ferrari out ever. This is how it was looking. I'm still to decide whether I'm going to do anything more to this. For the moment I've left it alone. Yeah, I looked at it, I went, That's the problem, mate, when you got so many cars, you just forget. What other disasters can I find for you? Here's one that never saw the light of day. I don't even know what I've done with this livery. Ended up being oh, that was interesting just then what I saw. That ultimately ended up becoming where is it? Can't find it. Ended up becoming this. Pretty sure, because it's the only one of them I've got. I'm pretty sure. As a brand, I think the only brands that I have less cars of than the Mercedes are like Hyundai and Kia, because I'm not a huge fan. Hey, I discovered something else the other day. The F1 GTR, like the Mazda 787, has different apertures on either side, down at the bottom near the skirts.
That's really?
Yeah, yeah. I had to move the McLaren decal on that F1 GTR on the right side because of it. Yeah. So if I can find you one more, I think one more will prove the point.
Ha, Amico.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a hard livery, the Amico one I did. Trying to make it all clean and green and all that sort of shit.
But it looked good.
It worked, but only bloody just.
Come on, livery disasters, where are you? Here you go, here's one. One there. Ultimately became this. Someone's back on the broadcast. I'm thinking Ethan. Yes, cancel whatever I'm doing. Did I show you that picture? Did you get a second picture come through of the Honda with mainly silver and blue?
I did see that.
Okay.
I was waiting for another one though. Was another one coming through?
Okay, so I thought that's what it was then. I obviously didn't hit the send button because it said you want to cancel this message. I'm like, what are you talking about? Yeah, I think I might have jumped straight to looking at your cars when I... Alright, let me see if I can quickly emulate what you're doing and then it'll make sense. Livery editor. It's a Mustang, isn't it? Not that I need to be that accurate, but I might as well grab one if I've got a spare one. Sure I will. Ford. Yes I do, I have a couple. Alright, let's grab the yellow one, doesn't matter what colour it is. Oh, what do I do? New design, you dickhead. Boom.
Hang on.
You're
I've
up.
just Is that what you're referring to?
You just sent me an image. Let me see. And then you can see the difference. Yeah, can't get out of there. Decal, bonnet. Just 2 stripes. Give me 2 stripes, please. should put the message up. You know, this is a depiction. You know, any association with real characters, names or whatever is, you know.
I don't think it really matters, to be honest.
I probably don't have the colours right, but that's okay. Castrol. That'll be under the oils and petrol oil smoke category. Do you use favourite folders?
Do I use what, sorry? Oh, yeah,
Favourite folders. Oh, do I have that? Oh, I'm just going to use a plain Castrol Word. It's probably going to be easier. Is it okay if you invite me to a party? Can you invite Rookie to your party? I did actually mention that earlier, but I forgot. We need that one to do it. That'll do it, just to show you what I mean.
What's his name?
Rookie 98.
That's right.
Now this is a bit simpler what I'm doing because I haven't used the exact same decal that you've got. In fact, wrong, Sean, don't do that at all.
Hey.
Hey buddy,
Hello.
how you going?
Hey, Sport.
I'm broadcasting, just so you know.
Yeah, no, I'm watching it right now.
Yeah, cool.
You're doing a Castrol livery.
Well, no, I'm actually just showing John because John just showed me his livery that he's working on, and I'm just showing him what I was thinking about the bonnet livery. I mean, it's very similar to what he's done, but just slightly different things, so I thought I'd just show him what I meant. It's sort of 6 of one, half dozen of the other, ultimately, but
Yeah, I saw your 400 follower Porsche just before that. Pretty cool.
yeah, well, I was just saying to John when I was doing
Was
it.
that on? That's on GT Sport, isn't it?
Yeah.
400 followers, because I got 228 at the moment.
Nice, well done. John's got nearly, what did you say, John? 600 and something.
I got my 645th.
Yeah. Flying.
Oh, sorry, I can't say that. Damn.
Just trying to get this right because I've got to do it a couple of times.
I just realised what livery I can do.
Well, you know what John's working on? He's working on his Down Under GT livery that he kept saying no to you about last night. Maybe it was a good thing you weren't. Maybe it was a good thing you weren't in our party chat earlier. We were having a bit of a cackle about last. You know how last night you were trying to get everybody lined up to confirm their liveries,
Yeah.
and John kept saying no.
Scrutineering to
No.
say if
No.
if you... I confirm it. So.
I've had to do this 4 times to make it work and cover up the. There we go. It's still not perfect though, is it? Close enough. Alright. Okay, screenshot it. Send it. How many you got? Yep, go again. I hate how they've changed the settings. Now when somebody starts to chat, it pops up in your... That's so annoying. So you got 45 Group 4 cars. Is that what you're saying? Alright.
Don't question it, just go with it.
No, I'm just going to check how many I got.
Probably more than me.
I think so.
I can't imagine.
I think so. I'm going to get out of this without saving it. Yep. Nope. That restores it back to normal. So I don't know, Johnny. I like what you did. It looks good.
Yeah, I think I like the white background behind it.
Yeah. Well, it matches with the sides. Yeah. But just I just wanted to show you so you knew what I was talking about.
Yeah. No, I did look at that, but it just looked like a slap job to me.
Oh.
I wanted something.
Oh.
I mean, something against it, but it just looked like a decal over the top. I wanted to sort of look a bit more
integrated.
Yeah, that's a good word.
Yeah.
Hey John, Nick, forgot to tell you, if you look on Someone Down Under series on Facebook, Jordan Brook took a picture of you going airborne in your
I
top
told
10.
him.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
I actually watched a bit of the footage last night on his bio on YouTube.
24, 30, 36, 42, 48, 54, 60, 65 GR4
He
cars.
just went from 48, 54, 60.
Yeah, well, there's 6 a line. There's 6 per line, right? 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 42, 48, 54, 60, 65.
Jesus.
Of those, though, there are 1, 2, 8, 14, 20. Oh no, there's one in there. 14, 19, 25, 30 that have no custom livery yet. So, why is the TechWise car sitting down there in amongst all the cars that have no livery? And why is a Bugatti sitting? Oh, it's a Group 4 Bugatti. And that does have a livery, so hang on, I got my numbers wrong. That's got a livery too.
Bruh.
But yeah, the scary thing is the number of BMW GR4 liveries that I've done.
Amazing.
Now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10 just BMW GR4 liveries.
Touch the sky.
I had a crack at somebody's livery in my do you guys have the app installed on your phone?
No.
I do, the GT Sport app. Anyway, you can see your garage, you can see followers, you can see comments and stuff. Anyway,
I have used it before, yeah.
Yeah, if you just go into the normal home section, it'll often pop up, popular things. And there's this one guy, he's an Australian guy, he's got 9,000 followers. Now, whether that's just GT Sport, I don't know, or it's just overall PSN, but he has 9,000 followers, and he created this Sprite livery like 3 days ago. It's already got 94 hits. It's a Porsche, and I think like a...
Wouldn't happen to Mav, would it?
Who?
Mav
Jet,
Triple A Jet.
Might be. Hang on. I'll have to go into the thingo and look. Bear with me. I'll go into Discover. Anyway, as far as I'm concerned, his livery's shit. All it is a wrap and a couple of Sprite signs on the side of the car. And he's got 90 something likes, so I couldn't help myself. I said, that's a shit livery. No, I didn't say it's a shit livery. I said, you're kidding, that many likes for just a wrap and a couple of... I said, search my Sprite livery and compare the two. Because I'm just fucking sick of seeing these fuckwits that got all these followers, but they do shit liveries.
Sorry for interrupting, but how do you look up Jim Beam?
Go into the search option in... Are you looking for a
Decals.
livery or decals? So decals, yep, go into decals.
I'm in that.
And then at the top right says search. Now in the first tag field, just type Jim Beam. Where it says tag 1.
Came up.
Well, let me try. Oh, hang on, I'm in Escapes Photos. That's not going to work. Decals. It will come up because I've got tons. I've got tons of them. You see my Jim Beam livery? John's got one too, I think, from memory. Stuart's definitely got one. Alright, let's just do a search. Now, if nothing comes up immediately, you see where it says older content on the left-hand side at the bottom. When you did your search, where it says older content, your cursor will go, or your triangle will go to it straight away. Just keep hitting that, and eventually you'll get some decals. I've just done it twice, so I'm back to the
I've got
August.
no older content.
July. Haven't found any yet. There's definitely, I've got heaps of Jim Beam decals.
I'm trying to do a retro livery.
Here we go. If you hit the older content button about 7 times, you'll get back to a window between the 15th of May and the 29th of April, and at that point you should see some decals.
It had no.
There you go. There's one coming up, which is just the wording in that arch shape that they've got on the bottle. If I click it again, there's going to be more coming for sure. There's a whole stack of them. I've got at least 6 or 7, I think. There's the full logo, back in March by a guy called CSRT_speed_wired.
Yeah, no.
Anyway, that's that.
I don't know what.
Alright, so I'm going to go back to car liveries. Was it car livery picture or was it a escape photo? It was car livery. And I'm going to put in Porsche, because it's definitely a Porsche. See if I can find this, and then I'll screenshot it and I'll show you.
Good mate.
You're excused.
Okay, I'm leaving.
We got it. We got the joke. Oh, do you guys find it amazing when you see somebody sharing a car livery and all it is just the colour, like it's just paint? There's this one here, some dude's done is he Netherlands or Russian? I was getting that. I think he's Netherlands. He's done a colour shift roof Porsche with colour shift wheels, and he's published it. Another guy that's done a plain black Porsche, a Yankee dude, with 2-piece rims. It just blows me away what people stick up. Even I've seen people put up the actual bog standard livery. Actually, put it up
just
on.
Just like this stock livery.
Yeah, that you get issued if it's a gift car if you buy it and you don't do anything to it. Yeah, I'm serious.
Bullshit.
No, I bullshit you not. Might have to go back a day or two. What's today's date?
No idea. Whatever day you want it to be.
It's Halloween.
It is. That's right. Bring out the Vogsy. I'm still deciding whether I'm going to run that Vogsy. If I don't run that Vogsy, seriously, Nicholas is going to have no one to race against.
What, Nicholas Carl?
Yeah.
Mate, you've got until the end of the race in Saturday. Oh, sorry, Sunday. To figure what car you want.
I thought it was the start, not the end. I thought we had to whatever we turned up in was what we had. What is this freaking thing?
Nah, it's just confirming the liveries.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I thought it was a case of if you turned up in that particular car, that was what you're going to be racing. If I knew he'd had Sprite as a tag, I would have pumped Sprite in there as a search tag. But sure it was like only in the last few days, so I'm already back to the 23rd. Where is this thing? They don't. If they jump into the popular category, they don't pull them out of the general search listing, do they? They still keep them there.
Ooh, back in a sec, guys.
Ooh, pretty sound.
I really want to do this livery, but I'm not good at making that livery.
Which livery?
Oh, it's a 12-hour car, and I really like it. Got the dude's name, but
Oh, there's my car. I just found my car in here. Why does my car only have one like? Come on. Have you seen my Porsche? My neurotic Porsche? Did you see it?
Yeah.
This one. Oh no, I preview it.
The Mustang I just sent you, that's the livery.
This one here. Now, Mr. Rookie, where are you on my list of messages? I'm annoyed at that. Can I repost it? I'm going to repost it because that's a good livery.
Just repost it until you get like 1 million likes.
Well, you can only I think as the creator you can only repost once. Anyway, I'm still looking for this other dickhead's Porsche because I want to show you mine and his, and you tell me. I think my one's up to 21 likes, but it's been on there for like 2 months, I think.
But you have to go back a fair bit.
Oh, for mine? No, I've got screenshots. I can show you mine easily because it's my car.
No, I meant for his.
Yeah, I'm searching for his. And I'm sure it was only in the last few days, but I'm already back to the 21st. Just wondering whether I should do a search for Sprite, but the problem is I don't know if he tagged it as Sprite. I wouldn't tag a car with the logo brand. To me it's a waste of a tag. But other people might. You only get 3 tags.
I'm messing, just curious, do you know how to make that livery?
Tell me your phone.
Yeah, send it on Messenger.
Oh, my girlfriend sent me a message, I didn't even hear it beep.
I heard it ding, how could you not hear it?
No, I didn't hear hers, although hers was only 11 minutes ago.
Ah.
I might have been talking.
Oh, good.
Might write, show me your tits, see what she says. She'll say I can't, somebody's near me or something. I know what you're saying.
No idea what
That should, that'd be pretty easy to do, mate. You should be able to do that.
No, not the
Mustang.
Yellow. No,
Oh.
I know where the place is sponsored, just not where the yellow is.
Yeah, it's easy to do.
You say that like it's the easiest thing in the world.
It is. It is easy to do. What's it say on the side? EEA.
Yeah, that's his main sponsor. It's a Mark car. And and that's the retro livery I'm gonna have. It's not really retro, but to me it looks retro.
John's doing his retro livery right now. That's what he's doing.
Isn't he talking right now?
No, but that's what he's working on in the game. When he joined us, he's been doing his livery while I was finishing that one off. Yeah, that looks really easy. That looks really easy to do.
I'm trying to find the sponsors because it's really the EEA is really hard to find.
Well, looking at it, you can probably just recreate it yourself. It doesn't look, it's just letters. You just got to put a blue. You just got to get a blue square, turn it into a rectangle, give it the slight offset slope, which is easy to do. Your trickiest bit is going to be the A, but you can do the A with shapes. It's easy to do. You know, the TechWise cars, if you notice the Q, how I've done the Q, that's all done. None of that's decal. That's all done with shapes. When I've done it on the bonnet of whatever. Let me. I want to keep finding this guy's Porsche before I show you what I'm talking about. Oh, there's my other Porsche. That's got 5 likes. That's a bit better. Still not great. I really love that livery. That's beautiful. You see that Porsche livery?
No.
I'll just do a quick preview and show it to you so I don't have to get out of where I'm in.
I know what livery to do.
I really continue the search.
I swear to God, EEA is Australian made. Because I'm looking for Australian made.
Where's this bloody shitbox Porsche?
You hate everything, don't you?
God, there's somebody that's done almost a replica of my black and bright green 911.
Bro. Did he do a good job?
No, mine's better.
Of course he is.
Well,
And
here,
he's
I'll
back.
show you his.
Alright.
I'll show you his. This
No
is
need
his.
to get
Sorry about that, guys.
This is his attempt. You're right, mate. This is
Yes.
his attempt.
Welcome back, John.
It's actually a different model, but oh no, it's not. No, it's not. It's the same model. That's his version. That's his version. I'm gonna keep looking for this
that
thing.
looks
and
good.
No, it doesn't. Wait till I send you my version.
No, the one on his looks good. Yeah, just show me yours.
Hang on, I'm still looking for this Porsche, this bright Porsche. I want to show you too how rubbish it is. I mean, you know, it's so basic.
I got a feeling you're not a massive fan of this dude who you're trying to find.
No, I'm not. Because I sit there and I look at that shit and I go, this guy's got 9,000 followers and he does that sort of crap?
It's a hard pill to swallow, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Like, you know, I see half deliveries at these guys with 5,000, 6,000, and I go,
And they're decent.
they're rubbish.
Okay.
Oh, found it. I found it.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh,
Right.
Oh no.
I'll show you this thing. Right, it's a wrap. It's a wrap with the word
just
Sprite
saying.
on the side.
Yes.
And
Pretty sure I know.
it's taking a while to load. Alright. It's a wrap with shit on it.
Alright, just show me.
Oh, it's fucking basic as. 74 likes it has.
Yeah, it looks good.
Fuck off, come on. Seriously, Nathan.
Okay,
Nathan.
I do believe the Sprite can alone is.
It's a decal, mate. You just go and grab it from the... I don't have it because I didn't want to do it. I thought that's too tacky.
Yeah, I've raced that dude before. That looks pretty cool.
Alright, I'll show you mine now.
This is the Sprite Porsche you're talking
Yeah,
about?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
That's got
fucking
what, 74?
74 likes. How fucking basic is it? It's not that great.
What's with all the... It looks like it's been damaged. It's got paint chips all over it.
Yeah, it's shit. Alright, I'll show Ethan mine. Oh, what do you mean some decals could not be loaded? What the fuck's going on now? Tell me my Sprite's been deleted. No, it's all there. It's all good. Select
No, you probably
background.
find it either if you've downloaded a particular decal, you may find that person has removed
Yeah, they've
it.
removed it, yeah. I just thought it might have been an important decal, but it's not. I'm trying to get the same angle for you.
I don't know why you got Jack Daniels on there though.
Like, and the other thing that you may not even notice is that half of the decals are actually custom decals. Like the roof, if I show you the roof, you won't be able to get that decal.
Pretty good.
I'll show you. Now I'll show you what I was talking about. You asked the question about the edging, right? So let me exit out of there.
I did not ask.
No, for your livery that you want to do. So let me find one of my Mustangs that's got edging on it like that to show you.
Well, Jordan Brook does a pretty good job of it. So.
I'm pretty sure that John's done some as well. The Cheetos car has got it, I'm pretty sure.
I can guarantee you I won't have the sponsors.
My Cheetos car, I'm pretty sure I've done the yellow edge around the grill and whatever. Just opening it up now. Yeah, I have.
Mobile Warhorse.
So you can see, I'm just doing a shot of the Cheetos car so you can see the nose. To see that the edging's been done around the grill, but it's easy to do it anywhere. Edging's easy. And by no, you can't see them.
Doesn't matter.
No, you can see them. Now I do that. So all you can do, Ethan, is yeah, that's right. Alright, Nathan, I want to get your opinion.
Ethan, you
I want to say Ethan.
Call him Nathan.
Did I? Sorry, I got a mate named Nathan. Sorry.
Jesus Christ. This is the 15th time you've called me Nathan, honestly.
Sorry, buddy. You know the funny thing? I started writing a book and the main character's name is Ethan many years ago. I haven't finished it.
Oh, gee, thanks. I feel
But
so thrilled.
the main character is Ethan. Then I found that you won't believe this. There is a movie where the lead character is the exact same name, Ethan Hawke.
That name sounds so familiar.
Ethan Hawke, isn't that bloody Mission Impossible?
Yeah.
So I started writing my book. I'll tell you how old I started writing this book on my old Compaq 486 computer that I bought cost me $5,500 in 1999. It was the best PC you could buy at the time, and I've still got it. It still works. Haven't used it for 2 or 3 years. But that book is on as a Word file on that computer.
Jeez.
I do. I'm serious. You go and look at one. You go into Discover, and do a search on Iflowboy, and when one of my liveries comes up, have a look at the tags. You'll see there will be other manufacturer tags.
I'm just looking for JD's main sponsors. That's all I'm doing at the moment.
Oh yeah, we've got to find that decal, haven't we? To put on our cars.
Shit.
No, just add him as a friend and you'll find it.
I think he's already my friend. Pretty sure.
I'll just go on his thing.
Yeah, his
So
activity
he was my bloody best friend last night when I sent the Mustang through the weeds.
feed.
I won't have that. I won't have all the liveries that he's got. Just some sponsors. I swear he's downloaded some of the frickin' sponsors he's got.
Yeah, probably could. Why
Like,
wouldn't you?
no way.
Save you time.
I'm just getting the main sponsors on his car. I have no idea what Marshall is.
What do you think of this one, rookie? I think I bought this out briefly last night.
Alright, what was it? Oh yeah, I seen that. Yeah.
And then this was the second one that I did.
That's your rage car, I call it. That's your rage car, because you're raging in that 650S like no tomorrow, mate.
I was only raging because dickheads were getting in the way.
I know, but still, no need. Just punch them off.
This is the second one. I came out with the red wheels, which is the shared livery, which you can download, but this is my version of it. Actually, the one that had it last night was the shared livery version too, because it had the BBS wheels on it, I'm pretty sure.
I spilled my roller wrong. What? I know, I could have spilled it. Bro. I just woke up.
My Momo livery didn't really get a lot of attention.
Didn't?
Just do.
No,
Did you share it?
Yeah.
Oh, have you? I didn't see it come up. Oh, I'll find it and I'll like it. I like it. I think it looks really cool. Show Ethan. I think
Okay.
Ethan will like it. I thought you'd like this car too, Ethan.
Oh, jeez, what now?
Hey, wait till you see this.
Is it called Review Cars for Ethan Day, is it?
Yeah. Well, we know you like to download our liveries, so we're giving you a bit of a free fashion show.
I don't download every single one of your liveries.
I really love this livery, and what I love about it is it was very...
Tonic's like, yeah, fuck off.
Fundamentally, this livery was very easy to do. There were a couple of finicky bits, but overall, it wasn't that hard to do. The which?
Mascara on the Mustang.
The mascara. What's the mascara, mate?
Mascara.
The edging.
You know, like,
The edging.
no, I'm edging around the headlight.
Ah, yes, okay, I'm with you now.
Mascara, he says.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I would have thought you'd love that FT1 livery, Ethan. I would have thought that'd be right up your alley.
I do. I love
okay.
it. Just doesn't seem like it because I haven't had it yet.
I actually saw one of these cars, the Supra, last night driving home, black one. I'm
Sport.
sort of torn about it.
I'm not a
Sport,
big
you
fan
know
of
what?
them.
Looks
Sometimes I
really
look at it
good.
and I like it, and then other times I look at it and go, nah, it looks all bulby and out of proportion, and...
I
Sport,
look at
you
it and
know,
go,
look
what would I want to
really
spend
good.
$100 on that?
Well, for the BMW engine, mate.
I want to spend 80 grand on a BMW. Get the badge that goes with it.
Yeah, well, you can't get a brand new, like, same engine BMW for 80 grand. That's the problem.
Sport.
It's got the engine out of the 335 in it, and that'll cost you brand new 110 to 120.
You're spending $100 grand on a car, you might as well just keep going.
Yeah, sorry, Ethan, what you can say?
It will look good on a GR Supra as well.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably could. We can't really copy it across though. I'm trying to end this broadcast. I hit the wrong button. Oh, can it's been going for too long anyway. Oh, sorry people. Thank you very much for listening. I didn't realise that I'd kept recording. Hope that the last half an hour or 40 minutes of totally ad hoc raving by the three of us, or the two of us, however many you can hear, has been of some entertainment value. Hope you all stay COVID safe and have a great day, and we'll see you again next time. Bye for now.